After almost 2 years of no landing in Lagos, Emirates Airlines has resumed flight services to Nigeria. According to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, the partnership will foster economic development and strengthen the national aviation sector as more carriers will enter the market, and it brings convenience to Nigerian travelers.
Emirates returns to Nigeria after 2 years, and it's cause for celebration. But for Nigerians in the UAE, this good news begs some questions.
What will happen to the Nigerian guys that could not get work permits for 3 years now? What will happen to Nigerian babies that were given back here until now they could not get visa? What will happen to Nigerian businesses that are finding it difficult to renew their licenses?
The longer-awaited return is expected to signal a total restoration of diplomatic ties, which many hope will encourage free flow of travelers and trade.
I must say kudos to those who have tried all their efforts to make sure that this comes to reality.
While many expect that restrictions on all visas and work permits for Nigerians are resolved, entrepreneurs have high hopes of economic increase.
It's going to go a long way to alleviate most of our stress. So it's really a welcome idea, and we are really grateful to the Dubai government and Nigerian government for the collaboration and coming together to make this happen.
A new chapter is open. However, the lessons learned from the past cannot be soon forgotten.
You lose sleep, you get stressed and all that because you're running the business the wrong way.
Seasoned investor Joe Sawaye is one many look up to for guidance and inspiration. From his experience navigating the past 2 years, he advocates business innovation for sustained relevance in the UAE market.
So for the past 2 years, we have morphed into a different kind of restaurant to be able to cater for the other non-Nigerians that are here, even though we're a Pan-African restaurant, but a big chunk of our business is from Nigeria.
They say all is well that ends well, and for this new beginning, or should we say reboot, only time will tell if this is to be a sustained happy ever after between Nigeria and the UAE. From Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, Maya Wadigoke for Channels Television News.
The Dominican Republic says it plans to deport up to 10,000 undocumented migrants a week to combat uncontrolled migration. A plan was announced by President Luis Abinader spokesperson Homero Figueroa, who blamed the international community's slow response to months of gang violence in neighboring Haiti and its failure to restore stability. Tens of thousands of Haitians have fled across the border into the Dominican Republic. Critics say the government of President Abinader has treated Haitians inhumanely, many of whom are fleeing the extreme gang violence and poverty in the capital, Port-au-Prince. Mr. Figueroa said deportations would begin immediately and follow strict protocols that guaranteed respect for human rights. The comments by the Dominican government spokesperson suggest the rate of deportations of undocumented Haitians is about to ramp up significantly. Some gang violence in Haiti has worsened in recent months. The Dominican authorities have steadily been returning Haitians over their shared land border, including several truckloads of people per day at the border crossing at Diabon. Tens of thousands of North Carolina residents remained without running water as of Wednesday, 6 days after Hurricane Helene slammed into Florida and carved a destructive path through much of the U.S. Southeast, killing more than 160 people. A powerful storm inundated the western part of the state with catastrophic flooding, destroying pipes, damaging water plants, and cutting off power. 1/5 of the 1 million residents in the western half of North Carolina either had no water at all or low system pressure on Wednesday.
This is obviously a major disaster. It really affects everybody here, especially the locals that are impacted. It's beyond anything I've ever seen.
We were here up until about, what, 8:30? Yeah. 8:30, the water come up to our steps. I'm like, we got 6 more hours of this rain, it's gonna get higher. So we left, took my kids to my mom's, came back, got the dogs, came back. By the time we came back, the water was all the way up to our windows. And our neighbors were flooded out. The poor little lady next door, she was still in her house trying to mop out water.
Well, out of all the floods that have come through here in the 71 and 73 years they've lived here, it never came up past the front step of the house. This one came through the house. So it was unexpected. I mean, we were not told it was going to be worse than Fred. Fred was like the disaster here. So really nobody was that prepared. We haven't seen FEMA, we haven't seen Red Cross, we haven't seen Hearts with Hands, we've seen no agencies come through here. Most people drive through with their cameras out, filming us like we're animals in a zoo, and don't stop. You've got some nice people that are stopping, but majority, no. We've seen no help through here.
Heavy winds and floodwaters caused by rainfall left a trail of damages throughout Taiwan's port city of Kaohsiung today, with residents having to clean up the mess. Typhoon Krathon slammed into southwestern Taiwan today, bringing heavy rain and flooding, cutting power to about 178,000 homes and causing 2 deaths in the island's east. Hundreds of flights were grounded and financial markets stayed closed for a second day. Krathon hit land as a Category 1 typhoon around midday in the port city of Kaohsiung, having weakened as it rolled in, but still felling trees and streetlights and sending debris flying. A Singapore court has sentenced former cabinet minister S. Iswaran to 12 months in prison for obstructing justice and receiving more than $300,000 worth of gifts, and the first jailing of an ex-cabinet member in a city state famous for its clean governance. Iswaran, who was surrounded by the media as he arrived at the Supreme Court of Singapore for his sentencing, pleaded guilty last week to 4 counts of improperly receiving gifts and 1 of obstructing justice. The case has shocked Singapore, which prides itself on having a well-paid and efficient bureaucracy as well as strong and squeaky clean governance. It was among the world's top 5 least corrupt countries last year, according to Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. The last corruption case involved a Singaporean minister was in 1986, when its national development minister was investigated for alleged bribery, but died before any charges were filed in court. Britain's King Charles on Wednesday danced with members of the Commonwealth diaspora in London ahead of his visit to Samoa, where he'll be attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting later this month. The Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, was also seen speaking with attendees at the celebration in St. James's Palace. The upcoming meeting from October 21st to the 26th will see delegations from 56 nations from Africa, the Caribbean and Americas, Europe, Asia and the Pacific gather in host country Samoa. That's the world today. Thanks for watching. I'm Amarachi Ubani.